when you walk in nature. Nature makes people feel very relaxed. Nature is a therapist. My name is Mayu Kataoka. I am a forest therapy guide. Forest therapy is based on the practice of Japanese forest bathing. We say shinrin-yoku, slow walk in nature. When I take people into the forest, it's a sensory experience. Notice about the colors, notice about smells and sounds. I encourage people to scorch the leaves, scorch it, and take a smell. It's a beautiful lemon-scented tea tree. Just be in the moment to just focus on that scent. People start feeling, this is nice. And smell is connecting the memory directly. So this smell maybe triggers some childhood memory, I don't know, but it will bring you back, straight away back to where it was. The word shinrin-yoku was introduced in 1982 in Japan. Back then, technology started booming and people worked overtime and people start collapsing, getting more stress-related illness. So the Japanese government says, why don't you go into nature? Then let's call it as a forest bathing, as if you were having a hot bath. Because when you are soaked in the hot water, you don't want to go rush, yeah? You want to be with that moment. You want to soak a little bit more. People who live in the city, they're always constantly stimulated by the man-made noise and walk in a concrete paths. Their mind and brains doesn't rest at all. So forest bathing for people who lives in the city gains, I think it's a lot of benefit to getting back to themselves, to feel the soil, to understand that we are living creatures, not the robot, you know. We have a sense, we have feelings and everything, that we just don't use it. Fresh air clears your mind. The smell of the forest relaxes your mind and lower your heart rate. And some people say it eased the pain, like headaches, stiffness on the shoulders, back pain, because when we have a pain, the focus is always there. But the good practice of forest bathing is just focus on the moment and you just be with your sense. When I've gone forest bathing, I feel very connected, even with these dried leaves, because they age like we age. In Japan, we have an aesthetic philosophy called wabi-sabi. Admire beauty in imperfection, which is like a skeleton of the leaf, almost the end of life of this leaf. It's kind of nostalgic, sentimental, but I see the beauty behind of these brown skeleton leaves. Used to be up on the trees, very green, fresh green like that, but now it's falling off and it's eventually back to the soil, back to the nutrients, to the forest. You can practice shinrin-yoku even if you don't have a garden. Start practicing shinrin-yoku with trees on your street. Observe the trees seasonally, changing colors, shedding bark. You start building up that specific connection as if the trees or potted plant are your family, your friends, and you get to know each other more. That is the essence of shinrin-yoku. One of the important elements in forest bathing is to notice yuragi. It's the tiny little movements in nature. Could be the sound of the creek or the birds. Everything is moving and flowing in nature, and we have that yuragi in our body. We blink, or we breathe in and out, or the way your internal organ moves, or the way your blood goes through your body. So these yuragi in your body and yuragi in nature, synchronize it once you are in nature. And that's why we all feel, it triggers physiological relaxation because we recognize each other. I was born in Kanagawa Prefecture, in the main island in Japan. My father was quite a strict person, and I was always loved to be in nature. Yeah. Growing up in Japan, I realized that you kind of silently have to adapt with the society. If you want to say something, if you want to stand up, you will be suppressed. And I felt kind of very squashed in that way of living. So I made a big decision. I always wanted to go live in overseas. And I'm not going to tell this to my dad. So I secretly planned for the trip to Australia. My mom knew. But I planned everything, I prepared everything, I booked the ticket, and one day I said, I'm going to Australia. My father didn't say anything. Now I think he probably knew, but he didn't say anything. You know, he knew that I was very stubborn anyway. They came to the airport to see me off, and we're all crying. But I think now I understand that that was also part of his love, and I didn't see when I was young, but I see lots more as I get older about the silent love from my parents, that they always supported me.